Someone forwarded a tweet to me from a black bishop. I didn't know who he was. Turns out, once I dug into finding out more about him, that I realized that like 10 years ago, he published a book with testimonies of people coming out of homosexuality. So, and I'd actually gotten it on Kindle. I thought, oh, okay, got it. That's who he is. But otherwise, I didn't even know knew his name or anything. But he had a big Twitter following. And he seemed to have a significant role in the African-American community and fighting for civil rights and fighting against injustice and things like this. So someone sent me a tweet, and it's been liked, I don't know, tens of thousands of times on Twitter. And it said this: Bishop Talbert Swan, calling a black POTUS married 25 years to one wife with 2 children, no mistresses, affairs, or scandals, the Antichrist, but a white POTUS married thrice, 5 kids by 3 women, mistresses, affairs, and scandals, God's anointed, proves your religion is white supremacy, not Christianity. So I took issue with that. I responded to the tweet, thought he's probably not going to see that. Then I sent a separate tweet, just in case, because I was going to respond anyway, saying, hey, let me know if you want to interact. I'll go on your show, because I saw you had a show, or you can come on my show. And then I wrote an article responding. You can read the article. It's called The Religion of White Supremacy, ? It's on stream.org. And I interact with what the bishop said. I do it respectfully. I do it graciously. I said, yeah, for sure. There are some professing Christians who are white supremacists who hated Obama because he's black and love Trump because he's white and because he's patriotic. No question about it. They don't care about anything else in his life. That's all they see. I said, conversely, there are some Christians who claim to be Christians who are black supremacists, and they hate Trump because he's white, loved Obama because he's black. You know, racial bigotry goes both ways. All right. We all have blind spots, and racial bigotry goes both ways. I said, but in point of fact, I would have gladly voted for Obama. The reason I opposed him was his militant pro-abortion stand. I believed and proved to be true that he was pro-same-sex marriage. Other concerns I had, that's why I couldn't vote for him. And I voted for Trump with a lot of reservations because of his baggage, because of his past, because of lots of other things, but because of his stance on these other issues. Skin color had zero to do with it. So if you were going to, and every white evangelical that I know that I'm friends with, that I work with, their perspectives were the same. Okay, so to call that white supremacy rather than Christianity, that's a bigoted statement. So anyway, I guess after a day or two, Bishop Swan saw the article, and just last night, there was kind of a Twitter frenzy. I don't mean from him. I mean, it just got crazy on Twitter with a bunch of people coming at me. I got called a Klansman. I got called a racist. I got called, other things with profanity and things like that. And Bishop Swan and I went back and forth. I just want you to see how things developed, okay? I just want you to see. So he was upset with me for what I posted. And I said, sir, as a white, this is my initial tweet to him, seeing if he wanted to engage me. Sir, as a white evangelical Christian, I strongly differ with some of your recent tweets accusing us of following the religion of white supremacy. Would you like to interact on my radio show, your show, or via Twitter? So you can see that was my invitation, nothing harsh, angry about it. I understand he didn't see it, no problem, but I did send it to his Twitter account. So he says, you never tried to engage me in dialogue. You wrote your article and posted to social media. Now that I've responded, you want honest, candid conversation. And that's why I always want honest, candid conversation. That's why I wrote the article. And I said, why engage in a Twitter battle? I've invited you on my radio internet show with national exposure. I can join you on yours. Let's have an honest, candid conversation. Why not? I have zero to hide. And you obviously have no fear of speaking your mind. And then when, again, he denied it. So I said, all right, here's a copy of that tweet. All right. So later he said, well, I should have tried to call his office. Well, fine. I'm just letting him know I'm writing an article, and he's making public statements. So just like I make public statements on radio, you can post all you want. Your differences with me, great. Go ahead. Well, let's keep going. It starts to get worse. He's upset with me for not reaching out other ways. I said, sir, I had no personal contact information for you. So I tweeted a response to your statement and waited. Then I tweeted you separately, inviting dialogue, then waited 24 hours to post my article. And even there, I was seeking to be fair, not inflammatory. Go back and check. All right. And now the responses begin to come in. And as we're going back and forth, when he says that he sees things through the eyes of the oppressed and I see things through the eyes of the oppressor, I begin to share some of my own background, all right? And what are the responses I get? This is white privilege at its finest. I found out now that whatever I say is white-splaining. And in another context, it's mansplaining. In other words, I'm guilty because I'm white. I'm guilty because I'm a male. I mean, that is what's happening here. All right, let's keep going in the progression and look at some more of these tweets. So here's what happens next. He's starting to unload. Liar. This is what Bishop Swan is posting. Liar. You never reached out to a black bishop. You wrote an article white-splaining my indictment of white evangelicals who embrace a white supremacist POTUS. Friends, this is what we're up against. You offered gracious dialogue. No, you came for me and only responded when I checked you on your foolery. All right? So I'm a liar, guilty of foolery. Now, you'll see in all of my interaction, read my article, every tweet, I'm still acting respectfully. I'm still saying, well, then let's dialogue. Let's talk. Let's interact. I'm trying to build a bridge. Let's talk. Okay? Here's his response to me. You're a lying, gaslighting hypocrite. Playing to a crowd was your complete desire, which is why you wrote an article about me and posted on social media in the first place. If you wanted dialogue and to build bridges, you would have reached out for a conversation to begin with. Hey, first, I did reach out. I reached out the only way that I knew because he's right there on social media. So I reached out to him via social media. That's number one. Number two, my article is also a way of building bridge. Read it. It's not accusatory, inflammatory. He says, sending a tweet with no confirmation that I've ever read it is not reaching out. Fact, you're a cowardly, this is a bishop, okay? Cowardly, gaslighting, obtuse, racist, white evangelical who supports an unrepentant, racist, xenophobic, sexual predator because he defends your faith. And I said, yes, you falsely accused me in your tweets tonight. Fact, I reached out to you before I wrote my article. You did not respond. Fact, my article was fair and factual. Fact, I've offered you dialogue. Again, you engage in name calling and race baiting, tragic and sad. And then I said in response, sir, when you tweet like this with all the name calling, all right, the accuser of the brethren stuff, you're partnering with the evil one, speaking ugly lies about a servant of the Lord, meaning me. Shame on you, and may the Lord grant you repentance. I will no longer try to engage you. You cannot be taken seriously. So this is when I just got a little bit stronger and said, if you're going to lie about me and slander me publicly, sir, how can I possibly engage you? All right, so let's just keep going. Here are some of Bishop Swan's views. This is from 2018. The Jews you see in Israel today are descendants from European Jews that settled there after World War II when France, Great Britain, and America got together and pushed Palestinians off their land to help create modern-day Israel. They are not the Jews of the Bible. So he also embraces that narrative that we are not directly connected to the Jews of the Bible. All right? And how about this? Just, again, so we get some of the positions of the bishop. White women are happy with white supremacy. 53% voted for Trump, 63% voted for Roy Moore, 53% voted for Ron DeSantis, 59% voted for Ted Cruz, 76% voted for Brian Kemp. They supported bigotry, racism, misogyny, pedophilia, and sexual abuse. Pure trash. So if you're a white woman and you voted for Senator Cruz, you support white supremacy and you're pure trash and you support pedophilia. By the way, those who voted for Roy Moore voted for him because they thought he was falsely accused. That's the issue. They thought he was being falsely accused. So here I'm explaining again, reiterating what happened. I reached out via Twitter. His tweet was vicious. My article interacted graciously. Over and over tonight, I asked him for dialogue, and he replied with name-calling and false accusations. It was after constant lies about me that I accused him of slander truth. So here are some of the responses I'm getting, some of the ones we can print. You are not the Christ. Flee. Go in the vineyard and work. Go dialogue in prayer. Get a holy Bible. There's your dialogue. We don't want to talk to your AZZZ. Go leave us alone, you Beelzebub. So now I'm the devil for confronting racism. Now I'm the devil for seeking to build a bridge of dialogue. Now I'm the devil for writing a gracious and fair article saying that if I support Trump because he's helping to appoint conservative justices, pro-life constitutional justices to the courts, and helping stand for religious liberty and stand with Israel and fight global terrorism and push back against radical LGBT extremism, that brand makes me a white supremacist. Now I'm going to expose that lie in Jesus' name. Do I believe it's harder for a black man in America today than a white man? Yes. Do I believe there's still systemic racism in America? Yes. And I have a dear friend, a black brother, who sometimes on a daily basis sends me news headlines pointing to these very things and saying, hey, Mike, don't forget this. This is going on. At the same time, when I see racism and bigotry from any side, I will address it and I will expose it. And for doing that, here's another tweet that came my way. You're going straight to hell. There's nothing honest or Christian about you. Friends, this is what it's come to. This is what it's come to. You know, President Trump, his administration just reversed something that the Obama administration passed. If you were an adoption agency getting federal funding, then you had to be willing to place kids in same-sex homes. Otherwise, you'd lose your funding. President Trump has reversed that and said, no, you can have your religious convictions and still get federal money. That's one reason I voted for him and not for Obama. Reverse the colors, and my stand would be 100% exactly the same. Can we get past this? Look, if you talk to me and you're black, I'm not going to call it black-splaining. And if you're female, I'm not going to call it female-splaining. Let's just talk. All right, let's talk get past the racial accusations and the skin color. Let's have a heart-to-heart conversation. Show me my blind spots. I'll show you yours. And let's grow as followers of Jesus and help a messed up world. Who's in? Who's in with me?